inside DHA's Box of Rock with one of my favorite guests and one of my favorite people ever, Tom Keifer. I'm just always so happy to see you. I feel like I'm with like a brother, like a rock and roll brother all the time. When we get together, we talk about music, we just shoot the you-know-what, and it's always a great time.
It is. It's good to see you, and we always do have a good time.
We do.
Very similar taste in music, I would say.
We do. Well,
the last time we were bonding on Tumbling Dice, because I told you we do that. We were doing that Keifer Band version of that.
By the way, did you get to see the Stones when they did their whole
I did not.
Thing around
Actually, we were playing that night at Bergenpack.
That's why I missed you guys.
Mm-hmm. And I don't blame you. I wanted to be at the Stones too. I would have rather.
Well, the MetLife show, they moved because Jagger had the heart surgery. So we were supposed to all be there way earlier, and that's why I missed Keifer Band. Anyway, I want to talk about your new record, Rise, which is phenomenal. And the thing I love about you is you are the consummate storyteller. You've always been a storyteller. The songs are always very visual. I could see them, whether it was the Cinderella days, the first solo record. This record, I think, has taken on a life of its own, a flavor of its own for sure. Talk to me about putting together some of the songs. The title track is it's just beautiful, big, giant song. I love The Death of Me. I love the song Touching the Divine, which is just another real feel song. So putting this together, how was it for you? Because the first solo record, you had so many years to put together.
Yeah.
This one, you had a lot less time.
Yeah, the first one, we spent 9 years on it. And, you know, we've talked about this before. We weren't even really thinking of it as a record. As Savannah and I were just recording with session players, and then it turned into one. But with this one, when we started touring behind that record, a band came into being. And we've been touring for 6 years with this band on the road, and the chemistry from night one's been great. So, there's kind of a lot that led up to what people are hearing on the album Rise. It's a band growing on the road together, their chemistry and our bond and how we work together, and that's part of what's on there. And then the other part is the songwriting, that all of which are new ideas that came about while we've been on this new adventure with the band. And then all of these are new song ideas. Nothing's left over from the first solo record or even the Cinderella days.
You can feel that freshness, though. You can really feel that. I mean, I can feel it. I always say with records like this, it's familiar yet really fresh. And when you watch the band live, it's pretty incredible because it's almost like you know what Tony's doing and Kendra and Savannah are singing backup and they're sort of in the groove. And it really is this just chemistry. It's like this feel that is quite extraordinary. Talk to me too a little bit about, what surprises you still now? How do we get a surprise out of somebody like Tom Keifer? What surprises you about, say, the fans?
I wouldn't say surprise, it's just gratitude. Like every night stepping foot on that stage, and they're there and they're singing the songs, and they're singing not only the old songs from Cinderella, but they're singing the new stuff too. And that's a really good feeling. You know, since we started touring with this band, the songs from The Way Life Goes have been received equally as well live. And when we started touring on this new record, Rise, before it was even out, people were hearing them for the first time in the live show, and they were responding like crazy. Yeah. So that's a good feeling, and I think that being able to inject new music into it that sits alongside the old just as well with the fans is kind of important to when you create a new entity and a new band. Obviously, I'm always going to sing the other songs because they're part of me, but to kind of make it like that you're moving forward and progressing, and that the new band is legit, being able to inject that new music and it being accepted is something that feels really good, and it kind of solidifies this as its own entity, I believe.
And I feel like now for you, people are realizing the great songwriter that you've always been. I mean, people always love the songs, but I view you as someone differently now, as truly a real storyteller, a really rock and roll storyteller.
Well, I think to me the most important thing when you're setting out to make a record is starting with the song. So, I love playing guitar, I love singing, but none of what I get to do is go and perform live. None of that happens without a song.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
This all starts with a song. So, starting with the Cinderella days, I wrote most of that stuff, and I wrote from the place of lyrics. And now, I write, with Savannah, and Kendra wrote with us on Touching the Divine, and You know, I started the co-writing thing in the solo when I started working on solo stuff, because I moved to Nashville, and Savannah and I started working together and meeting lots of great writers. So it's kind of like working with people who write from the same place. Savannah writes from lyrics first, and then that tells you where the music needs to go. That's why we work so well together. Kendra writes the same way, so when we wrote Touching the Divine, it felt, very easy to work that way. Lyric, melody first, and then you walk in with the band and say, let's get the right energy for this lyric now. And you mentioned the title track, and interestingly, Savannah and I wrote that with a country artist, Thompson Squared.
Oh, yeah. I read
Keifer
that.
and Shauna Thompson. And they're really great friends of ours and incredible artists. I mean, we love their music. But they're really great writers, and again, they write from that place of lyric first.
Yeah.
Even the heaviest songs for me, going back to Night Songs, started with a lyric. So I guess that when you say storyteller, it's because it always starts with the story.
Yeah.
Whether I'm writing by myself or with, like I said, like I mentioned on stage just now, The Death of Me is a lyric that Savannah wrote and handed to me, and I just related to it immediately.
Right.
Not only did I relate to it, I said other people are going to relate to this lyric
no question.
too. So
no question.
And then that lyric, it's so, parts of it are so dark, but then the chorus is uplifting that it just felt like this, let's go pick up an electric guitar, tune the low strings down, and just come up with a really heavy riff. So, but the story first, then you find the energy that matches it.
Tom, it's always a pleasure to sit down with you. Congratulations on Rise, too.
Thank you.
Just a beautiful record. Tom Keifer in the Box of Rock.